It is here. I'm finally getting around to updating my inventory to you guys for my makeup collection. I am really happy with the numbers, but they aren't necessarily better on paper in a lot of categories. I'm gonna give you my numbers from January 2023 and then midway through the year and then now. The first category is base. I changed it to base from concealers because I have this new e.l.f. product. It's the dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury kind of glowy primer foundation-y thing. I had 2, then I had 5, and I still have 5, but it's a different 5. So I would like to get the number down. The reason it's so inflated is because I have 3 of the same concealer. It's my holy grail concealer, love it. I have no worries that I'm gonna finish it by the end of the year. All those concealers will be done by the end of this year. I don't think that big ol' e.l.f. thing will be though. It's just really dark and orange for me, so it only works when I mix it with things, and even still, you can tell I had to bring it down my neck, let's just say that. But I do really like the formula. I wish that it was lighter. That is the lightest color. Unfortunately, I'm so pale that it's just not light enough. I have increased over the past year, but I'm not too worried about that category. That is not a category that I've ever had the desire to go out and go crazy with. I use them up really quickly compared to other categories at least. So this next category is powders. I had 2, then I had 1, and I have 1 again, and I believe it's still the same kind of powder. I probably used that e.l.f. one up already, and then I have a new one now, but I like the e.l.f. Halo Glow. It is the perfect dupe to that Milani Prep Set Glow that I loved, but they discontinued. Even though it is loose, I find that it has the same exact finish, so I'm really happy that I found something to replace that because it was a great powder and I'm kind of annoyed they got rid of it because I prefer pressed powders, but I digress. The next category is something that's actually increased. Again, this is not a great theme already, but it's bronzers and contours. I had 1 and I counted the Essence Duo as 1 product because I needed to mix the 2 shades together in order to make it work. I have 2 now, and that's because there was a time where I didn't use that Essence Duo at all, and by time I mean like the entire year I didn't use it. And so I had to decide to have a very subtle kind of bronzer on me. And so I tried this CoverGirl face powder in just a darker shade. I could have gone a little darker. It's very subtle, but I actually kind of liked the effect. But I'm not a super bronzer contour kind of person. But that's why I have 2. I actually have 3 in the photo because I mixed what was left of the really light contour shade in that palette, which was basically just my skin tone, but just a little cooler. And then I mixed it with a little bit of the darker shade so that I can actually use it because that dark shade is just so freaking dark. That's why I didn't use it. I was just scared to use it and deal with it and have to blend it out because it's too dark or whatever. So hopefully I will at least finish up half of that contouring palette. I'll probably be working on that darker shade for quite some time because I need to franken it a lot for it to work. This next category is blushes and highlighters. I like to group them together because I kind of just like glowy blushes. I mix them all together. I used up 3 in this category throughout the year and I decluttered 1. And as you can see, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of new stuff, but I'm pretty happy that I still stayed at the same number and only 1 was a declutter. So I was using up quite a bit, and there is 1 blush in there. It's that little pan. I have what remains of my Pacifica blush, the last one I haven't used up, franken with 2 other eyeshadows, and so once that is done, because I'm panning it now, I will only have 5 in this category. So that would be my goal for the end of the year, but I think 5 is a really good number for me, so I'm just gonna shrink it just a little bit, but we'll see. I do want more like neutrally kind of blushes because I've been using those up, so we'll see. I'm not super mad at this range of numbers I have in this category. To be fair, there's a lot of things like the highlighter, that Essence blush. I don't like them all on their own, but I love them mixed together. So I wish that I could just categorize them as 1, but I'm not gonna do that. So the next category is really, really boring. It's eyeshadow primers. I've had the same 2 throughout the entire year. I haven't really used either in the last 6 months because I had this horrible eczema breakout mid-year and it made me just a little bit hesitant to wear eyeshadow because it was just on my eyelids, around my eyes where I had it, and it was just horribly dry. And yeah, I'm wearing a little bit of eyeliner and then eyeshadow on top of that, but I'm afraid to go too much on the lids and I feel like primer might be too much. So we'll see how I feel. I might end up decluttering the 2 eyeshadow primers, but I still want to wear eyeshadows. I just need to get over the fear that it's going to cause my eyes to get dry and flaky again. If you know of any like really good eyeshadow primer that's not super drying, if you have really dry or really aging skin and there's a primer that looks really nice on your skin, let me know. I might be open to trying something like that. But this next category is the most exciting, I guess in my personal opinion. But eyeshadows, I had 125 in the beginning of 2023, and then halfway through I had 106. Already a big change, and I've only used up like 4 eyeshadows this year, so this is all decluttering. But now, if you have seen my eyeshadow declutter, then you know, but if you haven't, you should watch it. It's kind of exciting. I have 75. I'm under 100, and I cut it quite a bit. So I've gone down 50 eyeshadows in 1 year. And I feel so much better about my eyeshadow collection. I just didn't need that much. I mean, especially now, I don't wear that much eyeshadow. So it just felt super unnecessary for me. But this next category is kind of showing how I've changed my makeup habits. Eyeliners, I had 3. I used them up within the halfway point mark, and that's why I had 0. Now I have 1. I'm actually wearing it today, and I put an eyeshadow on top, but it's like the deep plummy purple. Really love the color, and I'm starting to wear that instead of eyeshadow primer, because if I keep it around my eyes more directly, it seems to be fine. I'm sure eyeshadow primer is fine now too. It's just that it took so long for my eyes to get back to normal after they got horrible that I'm just so freaking hesitant to do anything. But yeah, I might buy another eyeliner or 2 if that ends up working for me, because I really like this. This next category, really boring. Mascaras, I had 1. Halfway through the year I had 2. I still have 2. And I hopefully will just get down to 1, but I'm not mad at having 2. Usually it's 1's a backup, or right now I have 1 black one and then 1 that's more subtle and that's brown. I've been mixing them together, but also it might be nice to have both options. I just would hate to, because mascaras, you have to throw them out after like 6 months. They get dried out, they get kind of gross, and you don't want them around your eyes. So I'd rather just have 1 at a time, but I'm not horribly mad at 2. I'm just starting to change my preferences for what kind of mascara I like. I'm starting to like a little bit more fluttery, subtle, dark brown instead of black. I feel like looks nice on my complexion. So yeah, brow products is something that's also kind of boring. I had 3 of the exact same Wow Brow from e.l.f. And then halfway through the year, I had 2 of them because I used up 1. I used up another one, but I bought a NYX one because after using up so many, I'm wearing it today. It's just really cool tone. It's like the color of my eyebrows. It just doesn't look, I feel like it just doesn't necessarily always look good. It depends on the day. But I bought one that was warmer, that kind of tied in the warm tones in my hair to my eyebrows. And I kind of like that look. It looks more harmonious. I never liked how gray tone my eyebrows were compared to my hair. I kind of just wanted them to match. So I don't know. I don't like the brush for that NYX one. It's really big. The e.l.f. one is so good and small and I love it, but it's just the color isn't perfect for my preferences. So that's why I have 2. I want to use up both and then see which one I really enjoy more. Say hi to Chloe. Anyways, let's get to the lip products. I have several categories. I'm just gonna go, usually lip glosses I do last, but this one's the most boring because I had 2, I decluttered 2. I'm over lip glosses. I might just take that category out. I don't think it's for me. I just don't, I like shiny lips, but I don't like the feeling of lip glosses. I don't know what happened over the past few years. I used to love them, and then suddenly I was like, I don't like the feeling of these. I'm done. So yeah, lip glosses are gone, and I'm feeling great about that. So this next category is lip liners. I had 0 at the beginning of the year because I used up 1 right before that inventory update and I didn't buy any. And then I had 2 and now I have 2. One of those I basically used up. I lost when it was like super tiny, so I'm considering it an empty, but then I bought a new one to kind of replace that color. I don't really know how I feel about lip liners. I like how they can kind of alter the tone of the lipstick by being that first layer. And I like how you can really be precise with lips and everything, but I almost considered just panning them as blushes when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to pan this year, and I might do that. The thing is, I didn't do that because they're not something that expires quickly. They're sharpenable, they last a long time, and I'm like, I don't I don't need to be in a rush to get these over with, right? I can just use them occasionally. But if I find that I'm never enjoying one really, or never reaching for one, I might just throw it in and use it as a cream blush. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure about that one. It has grown a bit, but it's not a crazy number. I'm not concerned about that category. Lipsticks is one that is going in the right direction, but I messed things up just a little bit, but not too badly. So I had 7 at the beginning of the year. Halfway through I had 5 because I used 2 up. That was super exciting because I've never used a full-size lipsticks until this past year. And then I have 6 because I bought a ColourPop blotted lip because there was that one Ulta day where there was a lot of lip products on sale, and you had to buy one and then get one a certain percent off. And so there was a few I wanted to try, and then I was like, throw in that one. That one looks pretty, and it's a bit drying for my preference, but it's not horribly dry. And I do really like the color, especially because I don't have one quite that kind of brownie neutral. Most of mine are more pinky, peachy tone. So I'm not mad at that purchase. It's just, I don't think I'll finish that one up pretty quickly. I will say I might declutter a lot of these by the end of this next year if I don't use them, because I did not touch the bright pink, the purple, the brown, and the really dark burgundy kind of shade. The dark colors and the bright color I did not touch. So I touched the Autumn Rose by Flower Beauty, and then the new one I tried. I'm just not a lipsticky kind of person. I put Autumn Rose on today, and then I put another lip product a little bit on top to make it shinier. I'm just not into bright, colorful lips. And it makes me kind of mad because I bought that Milani brown lipstick and it's stunning, and then I barely worn it since I bought it. I feel like it was a fantasy self kind of purchase. So I would be fine with that category shrinking. I don't love lipsticks as much as I do this next category, which is more the tinted lip balm, sheer lip product kind of thing. I have some gloss sticks in here, so I just called it the sheer lippies category. I had 2 at the beginning of the year. I still had 2 midway through, but now I have 6, and that's because I realized that's where my preferences lie. So I'm not too worried about this. I know it's grown a bit, but I have 2 that I plan on project panning, and I honestly might finish up 3 within this year just because at the rate I'm going, it's not that hard. One of them, the CoverGirl one, I love that one. I used up half of it within last year, and I wasn't even panning it intentionally. I just used half of it up because I really enjoyed it. And these kind of products get used up faster because they're less pigmented, they're glossy, they're softer, they're more emollient, and they don't, you know, the really stiff lipsticks, those take forever. But these ones, I'm not worried about having more variety. I like trying different ones, seeing which ones are my favorite, using them up. I did declutter one within the year because the color was horrible for me, and then I tried to Franken it and make it work, and I did not like the Frankens. And anyways, yeah. So let's get to the totals. I have 2 total categories. I have one where I just say everything excluding the eyeshadows because I count eyeshadows every single pan individually. And obviously that inflates my total numbers. It just makes it seem like I have a huge collection when most people count palettes, so it just seems imbalanced. So I have that total, and then I total it with the eyeshadows. Beginning of last year, my total without eyeshadows was 31. Halfway through was 28. Now it's 35. So I've grown. But as you can see, that was a lot because of the concealer kind of category, the lip product category. Those are the 2 main ones. Now if you will notice me looking down, it's because my inventories are right underneath my camera. But those are the 2 categories that grew more, but those ones I'm not worried about. And total with eyeshadows, it was 156, then 134, and now 110. So it's shrunk a lot if you look at the entire total because I decluttered 50 eyeshadows. Of course it's gonna shrink. Right now I'm happy with my collection, and I kind of just do these updates to see. Honestly, I didn't even know my numbers, to be honest. It's been so crazy, I have not been keeping track. So this is good to keep myself accountable because it has grown and that wasn't my intention. So yeah, I'm not mad at myself though. I'm not really concerned. My numbers are so much lower than they used to be. So I'm just happy I'm going in the right direction generally. Even if it's kind of plateauing, I feel like that means I'm nearing a really comfortable, good spot for me where I feel like I can be creative and explore and have a ton of options, but still I don't feel overwhelmed, like I have too much and like I can't really use and love the things that I have. Yeah, let me know, how has your inventory been? Is there any categories that are concerning for you or a category you're really proud of? Like for me, the eyeshadows, the fact that I let go of that many, I was not expecting. So I'm really happy about that one. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye.